Morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Heinz Sabur. I'm your Ward 36 councillor with the Democratic Alliance. I'm coming to you from our office in Durban North. And there's been a lot of confusion and worry and doubt about the ongoing water crisis that we've had for more than a year. And I wanted to break it down to you and explain to you what is actually going on. So, of course, there is two sources of water that we have. We have the municipality, which reticulates the water, and we have our water supplier, which is Umgeni Utugela. So let's start from the very beginning. We have several dams where Umgeni Utugela, which is a state-owned entity, just like Eskom and just like Denel and SAA are, they are the ones who purify our water. They extract the water from the dams under license from national government. So as you know, every single person who takes water from a dam or a stream or a river, they need a water use license. Now, Umgeni Utugela is a state-owned entity that actually purifies our water and then sends it down what is known as the Northern Aqueduct to feed us in the north. So there's your dams, they extract from there. Umgeni Utugela has got a license to produce a certain amount of water every single day. And then from there it is purified, it is put into major reservoirs up at Umgeni Utugela, and as the demand or the need arises, it is then distributed to the north, to the west, to the south, and to all your neighborhoods. And that is done through the Northern Aqueduct. The Northern Aqueduct is a massive pipe, at least 1.5 meters in diameter. It runs down from Reservoir Hills across the Umgeni River, and from there it spreads out and it feeds and directs water into various reservoirs. In Durban North, we have Virginia Reservoir that feeds the upper Mshlonga Rocks Drive area, going into the Mvoti area, and areas into the Park Hill area. There are some areas that are fed off a different line. They are on the industrial line that usually comes from the Effingham Reservoir. And then we have the Durban North low-level reservoir, which feeds kind of like the southern parts, the lower parts of Durban North, and the Durban North high-level reservoir, which of course feeds the higher areas. So what happens is the dam levels are absolutely fine. We've had a lot of rain. Umgeni Utugela, the restrictions were lifted. So one would remember that the national minister gave an instruction last year saying that we need to curtail our water consumption in eThekwini by at least 8.9%. Now, that curtailment was then implemented by Umgeni Utugela. They are not able to extract any more water from the dam because they do not have a license to extract any more water from the dam. Because of the high demand of water, particularly in the northern areas, they have been extracting even more. And what has been happening is that the national department has been coming down hard on them. So they have said we cannot extract any more from the dam. That's problem number one. However, recently, due to the tourist season, you would remember, they said, okay, we're not going to restrict you anymore. There's not going to be curtailment measures anymore. So Umgeni Utugela was supposed to restore our previous flows to what they were previously. Now, this is where we need to get down to the nitty-gritty. The northern area, and when we talk about the northern area is your Newlands East, your Newlands West. It is Phoenix, it is Tongaat, Verulam, it's Durban North, it's Mshlonga, it's Glen Ashley, it's Umgeni Park. It's all the high residential, high business areas. Those are the areas that are basically in the northern areas, including Mount Edgecombe, all those Cornubia, all those kind of areas, Verulam included. Those are the areas that are being really hard hit by the water curtailment, which continues despite the national minister saying that there's no more restrictions, I might add. So in the north, we are being restricted to 300 megaliters a day. 300 megaliters is 300 million liters of water that gets released by Umgeni Water at this level over here. At this level here, they're giving us 300 megaliters every single day. We should be getting at least 330 or 350 megaliters to keep our reservoirs, which are downline over here, at an acceptable level so that it can then be distributed out into your pipes and to your residential homes. Now, what is happening is when they are restricting us, and this has been confirmed by eThekwini water officials, and they're saying we're not giving you any more than 300, this leaves us with a deficit of 30 million litres every single day. So what the water department has to do is to rob Peter to pay Paul, because now you have, for instance, Virginia Reservoir, which feeds a large part of Durban North, but just down the line we have Sunningdale, we have Durban North High Level that sits over here, Durban North Low Level that sits over here, never mind Newlands East that sits over here. And so the Northern Aqueduct, we're actually some of the first that get water from the Northern Aqueduct. The poor people down over here in Mount Edgecombe, Cornubia, and further down the line are suffering even further because these reservoirs generally fill up first. Nevertheless, this is the problem here. If there are no curtailments in place, if the minister has said supply eThekwini municipality with the water, why is Umgeni Utukela apparently not giving us the 330 to 350 megalitres that we need? For as long as there is mistrust and a breakdown in communication between eThekwini municipality and Umgeni Utukela water, we are going to continue to see these kinds of reservoirs running dry, yourselves as residents going without water for a day, 2 days, 3 days. And let me tell you that when a reservoir runs dry, this reservoir here, our Virginia Reservoir, was sitting at below a meter. You're now starting to get sediment that's coming into the pipe. We're now starting to see it taking at least a week to stabilize, even though there is water coming into it. It means that at night, the switching officers need to go and switch off the outlets to the reservoirs from about 8, 9 o'clock at night until about 3 o'clock in the morning, so that this reservoir can actually fill. Because if they don't do that, then we will have nothing the next day. This is a very serious situation. Business relies on water. There are many, many, many people in this community who cannot get out of their house and go and see a water tanker and visit a water tanker. So this is the problem that we have, and we have engaged our Deputy Minister on Water and Sanitation, who will be engaging the Minister, no doubt, and we have engaged everybody senior that we can engage. But the problem we have, eThekwini municipality loses between, if you want to believe their figures, between 38% to 58% of the water that they buy from Umgeni Utukela. It goes out for firefighting operations, it goes out in burst pipes, it goes out on beachfront showers, it goes out on standpipes that just run the whole day, and it goes out on reservoirs that are overflowing. This is not a new issue. Water loss has been steadily increasing for more than 15 years, and the management at eThekwini municipality have done nothing to curb it. What we need is a capital infrastructure project of at least 1.5 billion rand a year, where they replace pipes, they replace valves, they start reducing the pressure in the system. We are running at 11 to 12 bar of pressure. We don't need that. We only need 6 bar of pressure. The municipality needs to start implementing their side of the curtailment scheme, which was to reduce pressure and to start fixing pipes. We cannot continue like this. The mistrust and the stories that we are hearing from Umgeni Utukela and from the eThekwini municipality needs to come to an end. At the end of the day, the consumers who are being billed for air coming through their meters need to be put first. So between Umgeni Utukela, who is restricting us, and eThekwini municipality that has not maintained its infrastructure properly over these past 15 to 20 years, they are both to blame for the situation and the crisis that we find ourselves in. And I hope that this now will give you an indication of what the problem is within this water crisis, and that you will have a better understanding. When your reservoir is dry, us councillors can only escalate it. There's nothing more we can do. We need the senior people at government level to start talking to each other. We need water use licenses to be discussed. We need Umgeni Water to come to the party and play open cards with us as a state-owned entity, and we need the municipality to start fixing pipes, because we can't continue like this anymore. The people are suffering. We stand behind you as councillors, but this really cannot continue anymore. Thank you.